A foreign domestic helper loses consciousness after being hit by a fallen tree branch in Kowloon Bay. The Golden Week holiday wraps up with more than 1.3 million mainland visitors to Hong Kong, breaking post-pandemic record. And a bear wanders into a supermarket in Japan and attacks 2 customers. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Quentin Yang. An Indonesian domestic helper is recovering in hospital after being knocked unconscious by a fallen tree branch in Kowloon Bay. The tree has been assessed and deemed not posing any immediate danger following previous typhoons.
The 37-year-old victim, who suffered head injury, was rushed to Queen Elizabeth Hospital and later regained consciousness. The incident occurred at around 11:30 a.m. in an open area near Kaiyu House in Kai Ip Estate. A large lush branch, snapping from height on a 10-meter-tall tree, struck the woman, who reportedly was not the estate resident and was resting on the bench at the time. The collapse has raised serious safety concerns among residents, who reported noticing problematic trees in the area. This resident noticed the branch had already broken and was dangling earlier, but it hadn't fallen completely. He added, "This happens often." Kwintong District Councillor Aoyang Quinnock revealed that the tree had been inspected by the Housing Department after the recent typhoon and was deemed not to be an immediate danger. The area had since been unsealed following that assessment. Police and the Housing Authority have cordoned off the area for investigation as the cleanup operation continues.
At least 8 passengers were injured when a bus collided with a private car in Changsha 1, causing significant disruptions during the evening rush hour.
Some victims required stretchers and neck braces to be safely moved to ambulance. The incident occurred near Changsha 1 Plaza around 4:30 p.m. when the Kowloon motor bus operating on Route 60X from Jordan to Tuen Mun crashed into the back of a private vehicle. The front of the bus was significantly damaged, with its windshield shattered. The accident led to partial road closures on Changsha 1 Road near Lai Chi Kok Road. Police are investigating the cause of the collision.
As of 4 p.m. today, Hong Kong has welcomed more than 1.38 million mainland visitors during the Golden Week holiday. The city's tourism sector has expressed confidence that the National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival celebration activities have proven attractive to visitors, and more events tailored to their needs are to be expected. Jeremy Zhu has more.
As the 8-day Golden Week is soon drawing to a close, Hong Kong received over 1.29 million mainland visitor arrivals in the first 7 days of the holiday period, breaking the post-pandemic record. Taking to the airwaves, Timothy Choi, Executive Director of the Hong Kong Tourism Association, said the figures were ideal and expressed confidence that the government's estimate numbers could be reached. He stated that various activities during the extended holiday, including the National Day fireworks show, Mid-Autumn lantern displays, the Tai Hing Fire Dragon Dance, and the open-top sightseeing buses, were widely shared on mainland online platforms, which helped attract new visitors to the SAR. The industry also noted a shift in travel patterns among mainlanders. There is a move away from a primary focus on shopping towards a greater interest in discovering the city's unique cultural spots and attractions. Speaking on a different program, Fanny Yeung, the executive director of the Travel Industry Council, said the council is currently in discussions with 3 renowned brands, Lee Kum Kee, Kiwa Bakery, and Yakult, to collaborate on developing new travel activities. These are expected to include factory tours, DIY workshops, and opportunities to purchase limited edition souvenirs. The industrial brand tour groups are scheduled to be launched within this year. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
On the mainland, millions of Chinese travelers are crowding railways, highways, and airports as the 8-day Golden Week concludes with an unprecedented return rush.
Railways bear the brunt of this travel surge, with China State Railway Group anticipating 21.75 million passenger trips today alone. Major hubs are reporting record-breaking numbers. The Guangzhou Railway Administration, for instance, reported a 35.3% annual surge in passenger volume, responding by adding over 600 trains along key routes, including Beijing to Guangzhou and Guangzhou-Shenzhen, Hong Kong. Since the holiday travel period began last Wednesday, the national railway system has already handled over 160 million passengers. Road transportation is similarly stretched, with traffic remaining heavy around major cities. To ease congestion, authorities have installed mid-journey charging stations between rest areas, catering to the growing fleet of electric vehicles. The skies are equally crowded. Major airports across the country are opening extra check-in counters and deploying additional staff to manage peak demand. The unprecedented return rush, expected to last through tonight, marks the final phase of one of the road's largest annual migrations that has seen approximately 2.36 billion cross-regional trips across China.
As the 15th National Games draw near, Yeon Tak-keun, head of the National Games Coordination Office, said comprehensive measures are in place to ensure the safety of athletes during competitions and throughout their stay. Arrangements for their accommodation are also being finalized. Cheryl Yun reports.
As preparations for the National Games enter their final stages, Yeon told iCable News that the organizing efforts strictly adhere to the principle of simple, safe and spectacular. Numerous security measures have gone through trials during test events, and various departments have developed contingency plans to handle emergencies. Yeon highlighted that the office has established a specialized food supply chain to ensure all meals are free from banned substances. He also noted that water quality in Victoria Harbour has been closely monitored in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Department to ensure swimmers' safety. Co-hosted by Guangdong, Hong Kong and Macau, this year's Games will see Hong Kong welcoming about 2,000 athletes and 1,000 technical staff and delegation members, but no dedicated athletes' village will be built. Yeon explained that 5 selected hotels will accommodate the athletes, with officials arranging dedicated passageways and elevators for athletes and delegation members, as only specific floors of the hotels will be reserved. Regarding ticketing, Yeon said sales are meeting expectations. The government also partnered with travel agencies and hotels to offer tourism packages, promoting local attractions to encourage visitors to experience the city's charm alongside the competitions. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
This year's Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to a trio of scientists for their development of metal-organic frameworks.
The Nobel Committee announced the Prestige Awards for 3 researchers, a Japanese, a Briton, and a Jordanian, at a ceremony in Stockholm, Sweden. Susumu Kitagawa, Richard Robson, and Omar Yagi were praised for their contributions to the development of metal-organic frameworks, which contain large cavities in which molecules can flow in and out. These constructions can be used to harvest water from desert air, capture carbon dioxide, store toxic gases, or catalyze chemical reactions. The committee said the frameworks have enormous potential, bringing previously unforeseen opportunities for custom-made materials with new functions, thus creating new rooms for chemistry. The laureates will share the prize of 11 million Swedish crowns or 9 million Hong Kong dollars.
In Japan, more bear attacks were reported across the country, leaving 3 people injured.
In Gunma Prefecture, north of Tokyo, a bear has attacked and injured 2 customers at a supermarket on Tuesday night, when 30 to 40 customers were inside. The bear reportedly assaulted one person in the parking lot before attacking another in the shop, leaving both men with minor injuries. Police said the animal, which was about 1.4 meters long, rampaged through the fish and sushi sections and then ran away. On the same day, another bear attacked a farmer in the northern prefecture of Akita. He was bitten and scratched by a bear in his yard at around 8 a.m. He was treated at a hospital for minor injuries. About 1 hour after the man was assaulted, a bear appeared in the garden of the home next to his. Later, 2 bears were captured near the homes.
The Gaza ceasefire talks resume in Egypt for the 3rd day, with U.S. envoy and Qatari Prime Minister joining the negotiations. In a positive sign, Hamas said it has handed over a list of Israelis and Palestinians for swamp deal. Anna Chen has the story.
A U.S. delegation led by envoy Steve Witkoff is joining the indirect talks at Sharm el-Sheikh, the Egyptian resort city on the Red Sea. In a sign the talks were gaining momentum, Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman Al Thani would join the negotiations as well. Meanwhile, Hamas said it is optimistic about the talks and it has exchanged a list of the names of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners to be released under a swap deal. Negotiations are focused on the mechanisms to halt the conflict, withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza and a swap deal, the Palestinian militant group added. However, the timing of the implementation of the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's 20-point initiative has not been agreed so far. Trump said there was a real chance of a deal on the 2nd anniversary of Hamas' attack on Israel that triggered the Gaza war.
We're in very serious negotiations to I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years, you could say 500 years, you could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East.
Separately, another fleet of Gaza-bound 8 ships carrying journalists, activists, and medical professionals has been intercepted by Israeli authorities Wednesday morning, days after Israel detained and deported hundreds of activists on the global summit flotilla, including prominent Swedish activist Greta Thunberg. Anna Chen, Cable News.
Gold prices surged to a historic peak above $4,000 per ounce, driven by heightened market uncertainty and sustained demand, while Hong Kong stock market remained under pressure as trading resumed after the Mid-Autumn Festival holiday.
The spot gold price climbed over 1% to reach an unprecedented $4,037 and 10 cents per ounce today, with analysts citing the ongoing U.S. government shutdown and concerns over Federal Reserve independence as key catalysts. This milestone marks a more than 50% surge in gold this year, outperforming major stock indices. Meanwhile, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 128 points to close at 26,829, extending losses for the 3rd consecutive session. Trading activity rebounded to 173.8 billion Hong Kong dollars, though markets operated without mainland buying support through the Stock Connect scheme, which remains closed until Thursday.
Now let's take a look at top active stocks of the day. Alibaba was down $2.90. Tencent was down $2.50. Meituan was down $1.90, while SMIC down $1.55. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar: Euro 9.04, Japanese yen 50.97. Hong Kong's Mandatory Provident Fund, or MPF, has delivered its best first three-quarter performance in 8 years, with returns up over 15%, equating to an average gain of over $43,000 per scheme member. Full-year returns were estimated to reach between 18% and 20%. Jeremy Zhu reports.
Benefiting from significant global equity growth, the MPF saw a 3.6% return in September alone, pushing the year-to-date figure past 15%. By fund type, equity funds led the way with a 23% return, followed by mixed asset funds at 15%. Fixed income funds trailed at just 3%. Regionally, Greater China equity funds were the top performers, up 38% since January. Hong Kong tracker funds and Hong Kong equity funds followed closely, both with returns around 37%, while U.S. stock funds returned approximately 11%. Speaking to the press, Christopher Lau, Chief Investment Officer of MPF advisory firm GUM, noted that global funds are increasingly being directed towards Hong Kong and Chinese stocks, and he believes this pattern will hold. For those comfortable with higher risk, Lau recommended considering these equities in the final quarter to capitalize on the upward trend. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly fine apart from isolated showers tomorrow morning. Hot and dry during the day, moderate easterly winds. Mainly fine on Friday, sunny periods and 1 or 2 showers over the weekend. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. And that's the news tonight. I'm Quentin Yang. Thank you for watching. Good night.